Today I'm putting MegaDoopTV on trial for his various crimes against the internet. This video has been brewing for the last few months now. MegaDoop has annoyed me to the point where I now feel it is necessary to make this video. So let's not waste any more time, shall we? Normally I wouldn't leak private stuff into the public, but since he uploaded this publicly on Twitter for everybody to see, I feel it's fair game to talk about. This is a script for a commentary that MegaDoop was going to make on McDomius, but later cancelled. Now, I'm pretty sure you're wondering why he refers to me as a spurg that has no idea what he's talking about. What argument is he talking about? Well, it all stems from something McDomius said in his video on MegaDoop and DavHDude.
I just wanted to say that just in case he might have an argument and against me. Because I know he's going to respond to this. He can't handle criticism.
He's probably going to write a long response in the comment section telling me how wrong I am. And I welcome it. I've honestly just been sitting here for the last month or so waiting for you to write me back. Basically, I say without really saying it that he cannot take criticism at all. And I guess that really irked him for some reason. So that's why he decided to put me in there. But what's so odd about this is that, while he didn't agree with the things I said about him, he understood where I was coming from, and he seemed to like the video well enough. He didn't outright say, oh, this video is shit, this is trash, you're an autistic retard, or something like that. He seemed to like the video, so it's kind of weird to go from that to calling me a spurg that doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, I don't care if you call me a spurg, you can call me whatever you want. But what's even weirder is that he then flip-flops and says this. Great video, bro, though I will say that the CC wiki page thing was mostly for me wanting to troll the CC. Let me make this abundantly clear. He doesn't like my video because he actually thinks it's good. The only reason he likes it is because I criticize something he hates, which is of course the CC. And if you know MegaDoop, then you would know that he hates the CC with a burning passion for some inexplicable reason. I don't respect people like this at all. Don't get me wrong, I like the positive feedback. I like people that genuinely like what I do. But I don't like people who pretend to like what I do, when in actuality the only reason they like it is because I criticize something that they don't like. I'm very wary of MegaDoop, and shit like this makes me not want to trust anything that he says, because I don't know if he's telling the truth or it's complete bullshit. Now, if he legitimately thought I was a spurg that didn't know what I was talking about, he honestly should have just said that from the very beginning. I don't understand why you would acknowledge the criticisms and understand where I'm coming from, then call me a spurg, then turn around and say that my video is great video, bro. Am I the only one that finds this a little odd? Not only is it two-faced and backhanded, it's just mind-boggling to me. It's absolutely mind-boggling. And again, it makes me kind of suspicious about MegaDoop's character. Does he act one way in comments and a completely different way in videos? I'm not saying that he's like completely fake or anything like that, but when you do stuff like this, I get very suspicious that you might be fake. I'm flabbergasted. What can I say? This is just fucking weird. It's weird. It's odd. And it honestly makes me question whether or not MegaDoop is a troll or he's legitimately serious. I honestly can't tell at times. But this is just fucking shallow. That's what it is. It's shallow, and it's honestly pretty disappointing. It really is. Like, it's clear that you're only sucking up to me because I made a video on the CC. I made 2 videos on the CC. That's the only reason why you like my video. I'd respect you a little bit more if you just came out and admitted that was the actual reason instead of saying, hey, great video, bro, and parading like you actually think the video is good. Oh, and it gets even better, too. It gets even better. Remember when he told his fans to go and vandalize his page on the CC Wiki because he didn't like it? Well, he gave me a reason as to why that is. And it is as stupid as you can possibly imagine. It's raiding. It is one of the most basic forms of trolling that has existed around for years at this point. Don't be dumb. I guess that's the new protocol these days when you get called out for doing something stupid. You either say you were trolling or it was just a joke. I swear, those two things have literally become the new, "It's just a prank, bro!" You must obviously think I'm so dumb that I can't see what you're doing, but I can see what you're doing. There is a clear difference between raiding and mob mentality. This is raiding.
Is gonna handle this. They're gonna handle
I'm a rock star, Brittany, and so are you.
Yeah. Is that a donger in my neck? Remove Hackster person, remove the fucking donger out of my neck. Why is there a donger in my neck? Remove it. You just got reported at. You're gonna get banned anyway.
Brittany,
so I suggest you remove this immediately before you get
Brittany.
Shut up!
Oh, that's pretty good.
Get still! Get away!
1, 2, 3, and
already, come on.
DMK7S, how do you explain?
Can I get a Kappa 69 in the chat, please? Oh my god.
I'm having a hard time believing that people like this actually exist.
That is not! I don't need your name!
Yes!
A caricature of like a real thing.
On Hitbox? Okay, I'm gonna find her.
This is mob mentality. What you did is the very definition of mob mentality, because you're actively telling people to attack something you don't like. If your fans had discovered this page on their own and decided to go and attack it out of their own free will, then yes, you would not be responsible. You wouldn't be responsible. However, because you told people, hey, go and attack this page I don't like, how dare they have yours truly on that stupid wiki, then I don't care how many excuses you make for it, you're responsible. End of story. Another thing that I've noticed about MegaDoop in recent months is that not only is he a flip-flopper, but a complete hypocrite. Nowhere is this more evident than his opinions on the YouTube animation community. How to know if a cartoon reviewer is good. If they shit on the YouTube cartoon community or Mr. Enter. Instasub. How to know if a cartoon reviewer is trash if they have more than 100,000 subscribers. Fuck no, unless it's Rebel Taxi. Clearly, you're not judging them based on the quality of their content. You're judging whether or not they're good, depending on if they shit on the YouTube animation community or Mr. Enter. This is fucking dumb. This is stupid. This is really stupid. That is not a good way to judge anything. You shouldn't be judging animation reviewers. You shouldn't be judging YouTube content creators, for that matter, based on whether or not they shit on a person you don't like. You should judge them based on the quality of their fucking content. I'm trying my best to stay calm, but the stupidity is overwhelming here. Oh god, I'm sorry. This is so dumb. This is really dumb. You're giving me the impression, based on what is being presented, based on what you said, that the only way you'll like an animation channel on YouTube is if they do either one of those two things that you just described. That's the impression I'm getting. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments down below, because I could be wrong and I'm willing to admit that. I don't know, but based on what you're saying, you're kind of giving me those really shallow vibes, which actually brings me back to a point I made earlier about you sucking up to me purely because I criticized the CC, which you hate. It's the same thing here. You don't like the animation channels because you think their content is good. You're basically saying, oh, if they're good, they'll shit on the YouTube animation community. They'll shit on Mr. Enter. That's how I'll determine they're good. And what's even stupider, if a cartoon reviewer is bad, oh, they have over 100,000 subscribers. That's how you know they're bad. This dramatic pause shit is not a joke. It's not being played up for comedic effect. It is because words cannot describe how utterly cancerous that kind of mentality is. Because it is. You are essentially equating subs to quality. That's what you're doing, and this isn't photoshopped. I'm not taking you out of context. That is what you are saying. You are saying an animation channel is bad if they have over 100,000 subscribers, unless they're Rebel Taxi. That is essentially what you are saying right now. And it's incredibly hypocritical, considering you did this recently. Are you fucking serious, moron? Sub count, quality. Do you know what's funny? The Paul brothers, who you hate so much, are some of the most subbed people on this entire website. Keemstar, you are a fucking moron. You're not wrong. Sub count does not equate to quality. It doesn't matter if someone has a high or low subscriber count. It doesn't automatically make them good or bad. It's up to the people to decide whether or not they're good or bad. As much as I want to agree with you because you make a very good point, I just can't because you did this exact same shit. Remember, you're the one that said that any animation channel besides Rebel Taxi that had over 100,000 subscribers was automatically trash. So you were essentially equating sub count to quality. So I find it rather hypocritical that you chastise Keemstar for doing it when you did it yourself. Do you not have any shred of self-awareness, or did you just conveniently forget that you even posted the tweet? Seriously, how does that make you any better than Keemstar? I'd really like to know that. Because by doing that, you are on the same level as Keemstar. Granted, you're nowhere near as fucked up as Keemstar, but at least in this instance, you are on the same level as him. Just saying. And I also find it hypocritical that you chastise Keemstar and Cable's fans for going after Turkey Tom. And look, I'll agree, the way they went after Turkey Tom was immature and completely uncalled for. He did not deserve that at all. And again, I want to agree with you because you make a good point, but I can't because you did this exact same thing yourself. Again, refer back to the whole CC Wiki page thing. And no, I don't want to hear none of this. I was just trolling bullshit. You and I both know that was not trolling, and everyone else knows it wasn't trolling. We're not fucking stupid. But this isn't the only example. There's another. Dear God, help my soul. Just gonna say this right now. I hate these stupid animation channels that are growing now. People like Domix, Odd Ones Out, Jaden, etc. suck. You know, Odd Ones Out may not be my cup of tea, but I honestly 100% support him in terms of popularity. To me, he deserves it as well as Jaden Animations. However, Alex Clark can go fuck himself. When people call out MegaDoop for flip-flopping, this is the kind of shit that they're talking about. You said that these storytime animation channels like the Odd Ones Out and Domix and Jaden Animations were shit and were terrible and essentially didn't deserve their success. And fair enough, that's your opinion and you're entitled to it. If you had stuck to that opinion, I wouldn't be highlighting it right now. I honestly wouldn't have cared. But the fact that you, months later, go back and say, hey, well, the Odd Ones Out isn't my cup of tea, he totally deserves his success. And Jaden deserves her success too. This is very perplexing to me. So, if you truly believe that they deserve their success, why did you months prior say that they were shit and were terrible? That literally makes no sense to me. Now, yes, I understand that people can change their opinions over time, but to me this just comes off as flip-flopping. I've never seen such dramatic flip-flopping in my entire life. And it makes me question, are you just changing your opinion based on what will get you the most attention? Is that what you're doing? Because it just comes off as disingenuous. Because, again, months prior, you didn't like these channels. In fact, you almost made a rant about them. Thankfully, that rant never happened, but still, and now you're going around and saying that they deserve their success? Am I the only one that finds this to be a little bit odd? If that isn't flip-flopping, then honestly, I don't know what is. And that's why it's hard to trust what he says, because I don't know if it's going to change in months from now. So it's just completely unreliable. I don't know. MegaDoop is a paradox that I honestly can't understand, and I don't think it's something that most people can understand.
Do you know what group I joined? I joined the group of MegaDoopTV, the ultimate ranter. I am the best, nothing can stop me. In fact, I challenge every commentary community member right now. Next year at WrestleMania, all of you guys, in the main event, I will walk in there as a challenger and come out of there as a champion. Nothing can stop me. I am the best. I am different from everybody else. And I am the ultimate fucking ranter.
When a YouTuber reaches this stage, it's pretty much over. That's the problem with YouTube fame. When certain people become popular, they start becoming a little cocky, a little egotistical, and they start to truly believe that they're better than everybody else and have these grand illusions about their talent, worth, and importance. Yes, I understand that the Ultimate Ranter is a branding thing and that his little spiel that you just heard was a joke. I totally get that. But I think deep down inside, at least to a certain extent, he truly believes that his videos are that good. And to be honest, they're okay at best, but they're not that good. Let me throw a little dose of reality your way. There is nothing unique, special, or different about what you do. You're not different. You literally do the same shit as everybody else. There are 1,000 people that do the exact same thing that you do. You're not a god, you're not a deity, you're not an ultimate ranter. You're like the rest of us. You make dumb videos on the internet. So please, just take it down a notch, okay? Because when you do shit like this, it gives everybody the impression that you're an egotistical asshole that has an overly high opinion of himself. Now, you could be a totally cool person in real life, and that this persona you're espousing on the internet is just a persona. But just the way you go about conducting yourself, and the way you approach doing what you do, just honestly turns me off of your content, and that sucks, because your videos are well produced, they're well put together, there's clearly effort put behind them. I'll give you that. But like I said, it's your personality that turns me and many other people off. Especially when you make utterly ridiculous statements like this. This is literally one of the most fucking stupidest things I have ever heard. You are not one to determine what is right or wrong. Would you watch a video of someone dangling their keys in front of the camera for 5 minutes? Can you honestly sit there and tell me that type of content isn't objectively horrible? The same thing applies to Vale's content. Anyone who watches him is a drooling retard. This is how you know a YouTuber is going downhill. When they start trying to make opinions into facts. It is not a factual thing in the slightest. It's not a fact that Vale's content is horrible. That's a subjective opinion. Why? Well, you may think it's trash. Another person might think it's great. Another person might think it's the best content that YouTube has to offer. Some will like his content and others won't. It's a subjective opinion, but you can't say that it's factual. You can't say it's objectively horrible, because that's not a fact. That's an opinion. And on top of that, you basically insult his fan base by saying, hey, if you like him, you're a drooling retard if you like his content. This is not smart. I really do not like people that do this kind of stuff. If you're trying to get the other side to see your point of view, insulting them is not a good idea. Because then they see this and think to themselves, well, if this guy is just going to insult me because I like something he doesn't, then why the hell should I bother listening to anything he has to say if he's just going to be a dick? And then you've pretty much lost that audience. And then all it results is this ginormous circle jerk of people that just agree with you. Because they already have a hate boner for the person you're talking about, in this case, Vilskabo94. Now, I am in no way saying that his content is super amazing. It's mediocre and dime a dozen at best. But I'm not going to come on here and say that it's objectively horrible or that it's a fact that it's trash, because that's not. Because it's not. And I would be being disingenuous if I said that. There's been a lot of confusion on whether or not MegaDoop is a ranter or a commentator. let me just squash that whole debate right now. He's essentially a commentator. He's a trending commentator at this point. And the reason I say that is because if you've stumbled upon his channel in recent months, he shifted over to a lot more trending topics, right? You know, Logan Paul, you know, animation reviewers, Mr. Enter, Phantom Strider, other YouTubers like Super Mario Logan, Game Theory, Review Tech USA, the list goes on and on and on. He's also gained this really weird obsession with spurgs and autists, you know, people that I personally consider to be bottom of the barrel, and people that really shouldn't be worth anyone's time. He's just had this weird obsession with them lately. Has anyone else noticed that? It's almost bordering on Claymore levels. I'm dead serious. And that's really what his channel consists of. There's a lack of variety. It's essentially Me Too, but for YouTubers. If everyone's making a video about Mr. Enter, I gotta make a video on Mr. Enter. If everyone's making a video on Logan Paul, I have to make a video on Logan Paul, etc., 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 etc. It's essentially on the same level as I'm Alex, Wild Spartans, and Kavos. And the reason I say that is because the most common criticism people have about their content is that it's boring, uninspired, and repetitive. You know, that's just essentially what this is at this point. Again, it's not bad. It doesn't make me want to gouge my eyes out, but it's not special either. It's just sort of there. And I get why he's gone down that route. It's simply more popular, you get a lot more views, and you get a lot more attention, and that's really what this is about, is just attention at this point. You know, I get it, but again, it's just caused the channel to just blur in with everybody else. And that's a shame, it truly is, because he does make good points, there's effort put behind it, the production values are really high, they're great, but there really isn't any sort of substance to back it up. He's just dime a dozen. He's dime a dozen. He has these just grand illusions of his talent, his worth, and importance, and he truly believes that what he is doing is so great, is so amazing and impactful, when it's not. It's really not. His behavior and how he approaches things is not funny or endearing or delightful. It just comes off as annoying and obnoxious, and almost as if he's just trying too hard to be so different and so edgy for the sake of being edgy. But it's just cringeworthy. You know, and honestly, like I said, his content, it's not terrible, but at this point, it just blurs in with the crowd. That's honestly the best thing that I can say about it. MegaDoop has essentially become the internet's equivalent of that annoying little brother who constantly pesters you and will never leave you alone no matter how many times you tell them to shut up. Look, overall, if you're into animation reviewers, if you're into cringy autistic spurs, if you're into videos on trending topics, if you're into all of those things, then by all means go and check out his channel. It certainly has plenty of that to keep you satisfied. But if you're not interested in that, then I honestly can't recommend it. I think his personality will do a lot more to turn you off in the long run. And honestly, nothing about him really differentiates him from anyone else that makes rants on YouTube, let alone videos. I'm going to make this abundantly clear. I do not take MegaDoop seriously at all. I don't like him. I don't like his ego, his attitude, his hypocrisy, his constant flip-flopping, his boring, uninspired content. You name it. I just can't stomach it. I really can't at this point. And I also just don't hold his opinion in high regard as a critic because of the shit that he does. I just can't do it. Now, if you like MegaDoop, that's totally okay. I'm totally cool with that. I'm not gonna call you a little kid. I'm not gonna say that you're a drooling retard or that you're an autistic moron because you like something that I don't, because I understand that people like what they like, and people should be entitled to like what they like without fear of being attacked or chastised for it. That's just truly how I feel about it. With all of these critical analysis videos, I want this to be the beginning of a dialogue. What do you guys think about MegaDoop? Do you think he's good? Do you think he's bad? Do you think he's meh? Leave your thoughts in the comments section down below. This is ThatKidDouglas, aka the Unhero, signing out. Deuces, stay frosty and keep it weird. Cue an outro sequence now.